A black sedan pulls to the curb in Beirut. Morning traffic chokes the street. Horns blare, vendors shout. The driver checks his phone, taps the screen twice, and waits. Just another rideshare pickup in a city of 3 million. Nothing unusual, nothing worth noticing. The passenger approaches from the east, mid-40s, clean-shaven, sunglasses despite the overcast sky. He wears a charcoal suit, no tie, Italian leather shoes that cost more than most Lebanese earn in a month. His name is Hassan Al-Kantar. To his neighbors, he's a businessman. To his family, a devoted father of 3. To the cafes he frequents, a regular who tips well and never causes trouble. What he doesn't know is that 4 people are watching him right now. He opens the rear door and slides in. The driver nods, doesn't speak, pulls into traffic. Hassan glances at his phone. A meeting in 20 minutes, standard Tuesday morning. The car smells like vanilla air freshener and old cigarettes. The driver's ID badge hangs from the rearview mirror. Mustafa Jabber, 4.9 stars, 2,000 completed rides. The ID is fake. The driver's real name is David. The car isn't registered to any rideshare company. And in exactly 8 minutes, Hassan Al-Kantar will vanish from Lebanon without a trace. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. To understand how Mossad pulled off one of the most brazen abductions in modern espionage history, we need to go back. Not to this morning, not even to last month. We need to go back 3 years to a shipping container in the port of Haifa and a discovery that would set everything in motion. Israeli customs inspectors open container MSCU 447821 on a routine check. Supposed to hold agricultural equipment from Turkey. Instead, they find components, guidance systems, detonators, technology that turns rockets into precision weapons, the kind that can hit a specific apartment window from 40 kilometers away. The paperwork is perfect, too perfect. The routing makes no sense. Dead companies, shell corporations, addresses that don't exist. Intelligence analysts trace the components backward. The trail goes cold in Cyprus, picks up again in Syria, disappears completely in Lebanon. But patterns emerge, dates, frequencies. A rhythm to the smuggling that suggests organization, structure. Someone is building a supply network, and they're good at it. The name Hassan Al-Kantar surfaces in signals, intercepts 6 months later, just a fragment. A phone number linked to an encrypted message about a delayed shipment. The NSA shares it with Unit 8200, Israel's Signal Intelligence Division. They start building a profile, slowly, carefully, one piece at a time. Hassan isn't a fighter, never was. He grew up in southern Beirut, studied business at Lebanese University, married his college sweetheart, 2 daughters, 1 son, lives in a modest apartment in Hamra, drives a 10-year-old Mercedes. Nothing flashy, nothing that draws attention. That's the point. His real work happens in the shadows. He's a facilitator, a logistics expert, the man who ensures weapons move from point A to point B without detection, who briefs couriers, who maintains relationships with ship captains and warehouse managers and customs officials, who knows which borders are porous and which inspectors can be bought. Hezbollah has fighters by the thousands, but men like Hassan, men who can move military hardware through international channels without triggering alarms, they're rare, valuable, protected. Israeli intelligence estimates he's responsible for smuggling equipment worth $40 million over 5 years. Precision guidance systems, night vision optics, communication encryption devices, Iranian technology flowing through his network into Lebanon, then distributed to Hezbollah cells across the region. Every shipment he facilitates makes the next conflict bloodier, more dangerous, more costly in Israeli lives. The decision to grab him comes from the top, not to kill, to extract. Because Hassan knows things, names, routes, contact protocols, the architecture of an entire smuggling apparatus lives in his head. Get him to Israel, interrogate him properly, and you don't just remove one facilitator, you dismantle the whole network. But there's a problem. Hassan never leaves Lebanon, not for business, not for vacation. He learned tradecraft from Hezbollah's security directorate. He knows he's a target, knows Israeli intelligence would love to get their hands on him. So he stays inside friendly borders where Hezbollah's counterintelligence can protect him, where he's surrounded by allies and informants, where snatching him would require a military operation that risks war. The Mossad team assigned to the operation spends 8 months watching him, learning his patterns, mapping his life down to the smallest detail. They know he drinks Turkish coffee every morning at Cafe Younes, takes his daughters to school on Wednesdays when his wife works, late, plays backgammon with the same 3 friends every Friday evening, visits his mother in Tyre on the second Sunday of each month. What they're looking for is the crack, the moment of vulnerability, the single repeating pattern that creates an opening. They find it in his Tuesday morning commute. Hassan meetings with an import-export company in downtown Beirut every Tuesday at 9:30. Business cover for moving materials. The meetings are real enough. 30 minutes of discussion about legitimate cargo shipments, paperwork, port schedules. Then lunch with the company director, always at the same restaurant. Hassan travels light to these meetings. No security, no driver. He uses rideshare apps because they're anonymous, random, harder to track than a regular taxi or personal vehicle. That's what he thinks. What he doesn't realize is that randomness can be controlled. The operation planning takes 3 months. Every detail war-gamed, every contingency mapped. The team studies Beirut's rideshare ecosystem, driver patterns, route algorithms, pickup timing. They clone the app infrastructure, build a mirror system that looks identical to the real one, but feeds different data, different available drivers, different routing. They recruit a Lebanese informant who works in the rideshare company's local office, not for ideology, for money. $50,000 to provide access codes and modify back-end server logs. He never knows what the access is used for, never asks, takes the money and keeps his mouth shut. The team needs a driver, not just any driver, someone who looks Lebanese, speaks Arabic like a native, can handle himself if things go wrong. David is a Mossad officer who spent 5 years embedded in Beirut during the 2000s. His Arabic is flawless. Southern Lebanese dialect, same as Hassan. He knows the streets, the culture, how to blend until he's invisible. They established David's cover over 6 weeks. He actually drives for the rideshare company. Real passengers, real routes. Building a legitimate history in the app system. 500 rides, perfect ratings, friendly but quiet. The kind of driver people forget the moment they exit the vehicle. His car is registered properly, insurance current, no flags, no irregularities. The sedan itself contains modifications invisible to passengers, reinforced door locks that engage with a hidden switch, soundproofing in the trunk, a false bottom compartment, GPS tracker that feeds to 3 separate monitoring stations. But from the outside, from the inside, it's just another car in Beirut's endless traffic. The extraction route is planned down to the second. From pickup point to the border is 43 kilometers. Under normal conditions, 55 minutes. But this won't be normal. They identify 7 checkpoints along the route. 4 are Lebanese army, 2 are Hezbollah territory. 1 is controlled by local militia. Each checkpoint is a potential failure point. Each requires a different approach. The team establishes safe houses, medical support, communication relays, backup extraction if the primary fails, a boat waiting off the coast, a helicopter on standby across the Israeli border. 3 different exit strategies, each activated by a different code phrase radioed by David. What Hassan can't know, sitting in his apartment the night before, reviewing shipping manifests, is that his Tuesday morning routine is already compromised, the app on his phone already modified, the algorithm already rigged. Tomorrow morning, when he requests a ride, only 1 driver will appear as available in his area. Only 1 driver will accept the fare. David sleeps 4 hours that night, gets up at dawn, checks the car, tests the locks, confirms the tracking signal, his hands are steady, his breathing calm. This isn't his first operation, not even his 10th, but it's the first abduction on hostile soil in 3 years. The risks are extreme. If Hezbollah catches him, he disappears into a basement somewhere, interrogated, tortured, eventually executed, no prisoner exchange, no negotiation, just gone. 2 support vehicles are already in position by 6 a.m. 1 north of the pickup point, 1 south. Each contains 2 agents armed with suppressed weapons. and enough firepower to fight through a checkpoint if necessary. Their job is to shadow the extraction, stay invisible unless David calls for help. At 7:15, a surveillance team confirms Hassan is home. Lights on in his apartment, his Mercedes parked below. Normal morning routine, no indication he suspects anything. At 7:42, Hassan orders his ride. The request pings through Mossad's clone system. David's phone chirps. Pick up in 12 minutes. He starts the engine and begins moving toward the location. 8 minutes away, David gets a message. Hassan has stepped outside, wearing the charcoal suit, carrying a leather briefcase, standing on the corner, checking his phone. Everything normal, everything according to pattern. David turns onto Hassan's street at exactly 8 a.m. The sedan is clean. Unremarkable, he pulls to the curb. Hassan approaches. This is the moment. If Hassan notices anything wrong, anything off, he walks away. Calls a different car. The operation collapses before it begins. Hassan opens the door, slides into the back seat, closes the door. He's inside. David pulls into traffic. His voice is casual, bored. Morning, downtown, yes? Hassan nods. Al-Azarieh building. 40 minutes maybe, traffic is bad already. Hassan isn't listening. He's scrolling through emails on his phone, work messages, routine business. The world appears normal, safe, under control. What he can't see is the car 200 meters behind them. Can't hear the radio traffic confirming his capture. Can't know that the route David is taking, while plausible, avoids specific intersections, specific cameras, specific areas where Hezbollah maintains real-time surveillance. They drive for 6 minutes. Hassan doesn't look up from his phone. David makes small talk about the weather, the economy, the kind of meaningless conversation that happens in 1,000 ride shares every day. Hassan responds with single words, distracted, not really engaged. Then David misses a turn. Hassan notices. That was the street. Faster this way. Trust me, I drive this route every day. The lie is smooth, practiced. Hassan settles back, returns to his phone. He has no reason to doubt, no reason to be alarmed. The app shows the route updating, the ETA unchanged. Everything appears legitimate. What Hassan doesn't know is that every piece of data on his screen is false. The route isn't real. The ETA is fabricated. The app is feeding him a simulation while David follows a completely different path. South, away from downtown, toward the coast. 5 minutes later, they're in a neighborhood Hassan doesn't recognize. The street's narrower, less traffic, industrial buildings, warehouses. He looks up from his phone. This doesn't seem right. David's voice remains calm, avoiding construction, big delays on the main road. Hassan frowns. Something feels wrong. His instincts, trained by years of moving through hostile territory, are starting to whisper warnings. He glances at the door handle, considers asking David to stop. Let him out. He'll call another car. His hand moves toward the handle. Before we continue, here's a question. Drop your answer in the comments. When an intelligence agency kidnaps rather than kills a target, does that represent restraint and precision? Or does removing someone without trial cross a line that even warfare shouldn't? Let me know what you think. Hassan pulls the handle. Nothing happens. The lock doesn't disengage. He pulls again, harder. Still nothing. Now he knows. Stop the car. David doesn't respond, doesn't slow. His eyes flick to the rearview mirror, meeting Hassan's gaze for the first time. Cold, professional, not the bored rideshare driver anymore. Hassan's hand goes to his jacket, reaching for a phone, for a weapon. David doesn't give him time. His right hand leaves the steering wheel, reaches under his seat, comes up with a small canister. He twists in his seat and sprays directly into Hassan's face. Chemical incapacitant, not lethal, fast-acting. Hassan gasps, tries to hold his breath, but he's already inhaled enough. His vision blurs, limbs go heavy. He slumps against the door, consciousness fading, the world narrowing to a pinpoint and then nothing. David straightens, both hands back on the wheel. He keys his radio. Package secured, proceeding to phase 2. The response is immediate. Confirmed, clear road ahead. Checkpoint Alpha in 8 minutes. The first checkpoint is Lebanese army. Young conscripts doing a job they're underpaid for. David has identification, real credentials, a story. He's driving his sick uncle to a hospital in Sidon. The paperwork is perfect. Bribes are already paid. The soldiers wave him through without checking the back seat where Hassan lies unconscious, hidden under a blanket. Checkpoint 2 is harder. Hezbollah territory. These men are trained, suspicious. They stop every vehicle, check IDs against databases. David's cover here is different. He's a courier for a Shia charity organization, has documentation, passes, names of commanders who can vouch for him if called. The credentials are real enough to pass surface inspection, deep enough to survive a phone call if necessary. The Hezbollah fighter checks David's ID, looks at the photo, looks at David, back to the photo. 10 seconds that stretch like minutes, then he hands it back, waves them through. David drives, steady speed, nothing rushed, nothing that draws attention. Hassan remains unconscious in the back, breathing steady, pulse normal. He'll wake in an hour, maybe 90 minutes. By then, the border will be behind them. The support vehicles maintain distance, close enough to intervene, far enough to avoid suspicion. They rotate positions, change vehicles twice, use side roads to parallel the main route. Professional counter-surveillance that Hassan's people would need satellite coverage to detect. At the third checkpoint, a problem emerges. The militia fighter is drunk, aggressive. He demands David open the trunk, show him what's inside. David complies. The trunk contains nothing suspicious. Tools, a spare tire, jumper cables. The false bottom is invisible unless you know where to look. The fighter isn't satisfied. He wants to see the back seat. David hesitates, just a second. Just long enough for the fighter to notice. His hand moves to his weapon. This is the moment where operations fail, where split-second decisions determine if everyone goes home or if bodies start dropping. David smiles, keeps his hands visible. His Arabic shifts to a more conciliatory tone, the kind you use with someone holding power over you. My uncle, he's sick, very sick. I'm taking him to hospital in Sidon. If we delay, his wife will never forgive me. The fighter circles to the rear door, peers through the window. Hassan is visible under the blanket, face pale, eyes closed. He looks exactly like what David claimed, a sick man being transported by family. What the fighter can't know is that Hassan's jacket has been repositioned to hide the expensive cut, that his Italian shoes have been removed and replaced with cheap canvas sneakers, that every detail has been staged to match the story. A sick uncle, lower middle class, nothing worth investigating. The fighter taps the glass with his rifle barrel. Hassan doesn't move. The sedative is holding. David holds his breath. If Hassan wakes now, if he calls out, everything ends here. Gunfire, dead bodies, international incident. The fighter stares for 5 more seconds. Then he waves David through. David drives. 2 kilometers. 3. Far enough from the checkpoint. Then he exhales. Keys the radio. Clear of checkpoint 3. Status. All clear. Proceed to waypoint Delta. The route takes them through a residential area. Apartment buildings, shops, people going about their lives. None of them know that the black sedan passing by contains a kidnapped Hezbollah officer being driven toward the Israeli border. The operation is invisible, hidden in plain sight among ordinary traffic. Hassan stirs in the back seat. A groan. His hand moves to his face. The sedative is wearing off faster than expected. David checks his watch. They're 31 minutes from the border. Hassan waking up early creates complications. David speeds up. Not too much. Just enough to shave minutes off the journey. The sedan weaves through traffic. A taxi cuts them off. David brakes, maintains control, keeps moving. Professional, calm. But now he's racing against Hassan's returning consciousness. In the back seat, Hassan's eyes flutter open. His vision is blurred, head pounding, mouth dry. He tries to move and realizes his hands are bound. Plastic zip ties, professional grade. When did that happen? He can't remember. The last clear memory is pulling the door handle, then nothing. Blank space where time should be. He tries to speak. His voice comes out as a rasp. Where? David doesn't answer, doesn't look back, just drives. Hassan's training kicks in through the fog of sedation. He's been taken, kidnapped, By whom? For what purpose? His mind cycles through possibilities: Hezbollah rivals, criminal gangs, Israeli intelligence. The realization hits like cold water. He stops struggling, stops trying to speak. Because if it's Mossad, fighting is pointless, screaming is pointless. They've already won. The only question now is what they want from him and how much pain he'll endure before they get it. What Hassan doesn't know is that his phone is still transmitting, still connected to the network. His security people can track him. Right now, somewhere in Beirut, an analyst is staring at a screen showing Hassan's location moving south, moving toward the Israeli border. Alarms are being raised, calls are being made. Hezbollah's rapid response teams are mobilizing. The race is on. David gets the warning through his encrypted radio. Multiple vehicles moving to intercept. Hezbollah security, they know. How long? 12 minutes, maybe 15. They're coming from Sedan. David does the math. 12 minutes. He's still 18 minutes from the border. Even at high speed, pushing every limit, he won't make it. Hezbollah will catch them somewhere on the coastal road, block the route, extract Hassan, capture or kill everyone involved. He keys the radio. Initiate Protocol Shamir. Protocol Shamir is the contingency, the backup plan for exactly this scenario. Instead of driving to the Israeli border, David diverts to the coast, to a small fishing village where a boat is waiting. The boat will take them 6 nautical miles offshore, into international waters, where an Israeli naval vessel waits. The route change adds complications. The coastal road is exposed, fewer places to hide, fewer options if things go wrong, but it's faster than the border crossing. 30 minutes versus 45. Right now, speed matters more than safety. David accelerates. The sedan's engine roars. They're moving fast now, too fast to be inconspicuous. Other drivers notice, some honk, some swerve. David doesn't care about subtlety anymore. He cares about distance, about getting Hassan offshore before Hezbollah closes the net. Behind them, 3 SUVs are moving fast. Hezbollah security, armed, professional, communicating with checkpoints ahead, setting up roadblocks. The men in those vehicles know Hassan, trained with him, respect him. They're not coming to negotiate. They're coming to retrieve their man and kill everyone who took him. The support vehicles move to intercept, not to fight, not yet, to delay, create obstacles, buy David time. One support car breaks down at a key intersection, blocking traffic. The other takes a parallel route, ready to ram any vehicle that gets too close to David's sedan. David reaches the coastal road. The Mediterranean spreads out to his left. Blue water, white boats. It looks peaceful, calm. The dissonance is jarring. Out there, freedom. Behind him, armed men who will kill him if they catch up. Hassan is fully conscious now. He can see where they're going. The coast. A boat. He understands the plan. Once they're offshore, it's over. No rescue, no escape. Israel will have him. Everything he knows, everyone he's worked with. The entire network compromised. He tries to speak through the gag David placed over his mouth while he was unconscious. Muffled sounds, useless. His hands are still bound, feet too. He's completely helpless. A package being delivered. What Hassan can't see is the surveillance drone overhead. Israeli military, flying at altitude, invisible from the ground. The drone's camera shows everything. David's sedan racing south. The Hezbollah vehicles in pursuit. The gap between them. 3 kilometers, closing. The Israeli Navy vessel receives real-time updates. The captain orders the boat to move closer to shore, as close as they dare without entering Lebanese territorial waters. Every meter closer reduces the time Hassan is vulnerable on the water. David's radio crackles. Fishing boat is ready. ETA to coast, 7 minutes. Pursuit vehicles are 6 minutes behind you. It's going to be close. Close is an understatement. David does the calculation. He'll reach the boat first, but not by much. Maybe 90 seconds. Enough time to get Hassan aboard, to cast off. But not enough time to reach international waters before Hezbollah arrives. They'll be exposed, on the water, easy targets. He keys the radio again. Tell the boat to have engines running, no delays. The fishing village appears ahead, small harbor. Maybe 20 boats, most are legitimate. One is not. The Boat captain is Lebanese, former smuggler, works for whoever pays. Today, that's Mossad. He's been paid $50,000 for one trip. 6 nautical miles out, 30 minutes on the water. Simple job. Except now, there are armed men coming, and the simple job just became very dangerous. David pulls into the village. Tires screech. He parks directly beside the dock, jumps out, runs to the rear door. Hassan is thrashing, trying to break free. David opens the door, grabs Hassan, hauls him out. Hassan is dead weight, resisting. 90 kilograms of struggling human being who does not want to be on that boat. 2 Mossad agents emerge from the boat. They grab Hassan, one on each arm. They drag him across the dock. Hassan tries to hook his foot on a mooring post, tries to drop his weight, anything to slow them down. They lift him, carry him, toss him onto the boat deck. David is already back at the sedan. He needs to move it, can't leave it here for Hezbollah to find. Forensic evidence, fingerprints, DNA. He starts the engine, drives it 200 meters, parks behind a warehouse, wipes down the steering wheel, the door handles, anything he touched. 30 seconds, that's all he allows himself. He runs back to the dock. The boat's engines are running. Diesel smoke. The captain is shouting to cast off. David leaps aboard as the boat pulls away from the dock. Behind him, on the coastal road, he can see the SUVs. Close now, very close. The Hezbollah vehicles reach the village. Men pour out, armed with assault rifles. They see the boat moving away from shore, see Hassan on the deck, bound and gagged. They raise their weapons. This is the moment where people die, where bullets start flying and the operation turns into a massacre. The Mossad agents on the boat have weapons too. Cover positions. If Hezbollah opens fire, they'll return it. The village will become a combat zone. Fishermen will die. Civilians will die. Children. But the Hezbollah commander makes a calculation. They're on Lebanese soil. Starting a firefight here means witnesses, police, international attention. And the boat is already 200 meters offshore, moving fast. Rifle fire at that range at a moving target, with human shields, low percentage shots, more likely to hit Hassan than the kidnappers. He lowers his weapon, orders his men to hold fire. Instead, he gets on his radio, calls for a boat, for air support, for anything that can catch them before they reach international waters. The fishing boat cuts through the waves. Hassan lies on the deck, zip ties cutting into his wrists. Above him, the sky is blue, cloudless, beautiful. He thinks about his daughters, his wife, whether he'll ever see them again. The boat rocks. Water sprays over the bow, cold, salty. What Hassan doesn't know is that his security detail is scrambling 2 boats, faster boats, armed boats. They're 6 minutes behind. The math is brutal. The Israeli naval vessel is 22 minutes away at current speed. The Hezbollah boats will reach them in 18 minutes, 4 minutes of vulnerability. 4 minutes where Hassan is on the water, exposed, with armed men closing in. The Israeli captain receives the update. He increases speed, engines roaring. The vessel is a Sayar-class corvette, designed for exactly this type of operation, fast, armed. But even at maximum speed, they won't reach the fishing boat before Hezbollah does. David knows this. He's done the math too. He moves to the cabin, opens a waterproof case. Inside are weapons, body armor, smoke grenades. He starts distributing equipment to the other agents. They don't speak, don't need to. Everyone knows what's coming. The fishing boat captain sees them arming up, realizes what he's in the middle of. His face goes pale. "You said simple pickup. You said no trouble." David hands him a pistol. "Things changed. You know how to use this?" The captain takes the weapon. His hands are shaking. He's a smuggler, not a soldier. He moved hashish and cigarettes, not kidnapped intelligence officers through hostile waters. "I want double. You'll get triple if we survive the next 20 minutes. 15 minutes from shore, the Hezbollah boats appear on the horizon. 2 of them, fast attack craft, armed with heavy machine guns. They're closing rapidly. The fishing boat is old, slow, there's no outrunning them. David radios the Israeli vessel. "We have hostile contact. 2 boats, armed, closing fast. Hold position, we're 12 minutes out." "We don't have 12 minutes. The Israeli captain knows this. He's watching the same radar screen, watching the gap close. He makes a decision. Launches a helicopter. It's risky. The helicopter will cross into Lebanese airspace, could trigger an international incident, could get shot down. But leaving his people to die isn't an option. The helicopter is an Apache, gunship, heavy weapons. It lifts from the deck and races toward the fishing boat. 8 minutes flight time. Still not fast enough, but it might arrive before things turn fatal. The Hezbollah boat's close to 600 meters, within effective range. The lead boat's machine gun swivels, targets the fishing boat. David watches through binoculars. He can see the gunner, young man, probably 22, 23, finger on the trigger, following orders. David knows what comes next. The Hezbollah boats will close to 300 meters, fire warning shots, demand surrender. When the fishing boat refuses, they'll aim for the engines, disable it, board it, take Hassan back, kill everyone else, unless David stops them first. He shoulders his rifle. The fishing boat is rocking, waves, wind, shooting from an unstable platform at a moving target 600 meters away. Impossible shot. Except David trained for this, spent months on ranges learning to compensate for motion, for wind, for distance. He breathes, steadies. The rifle barrel tracks the lead boat. He's not aiming for the gunner, he's aiming for the engine compartment. One shot, one chance to disable them before they disable his boat. He fires. The bullet crosses 600 meters in less than a second, strikes the lead boat's engine housing, doesn't penetrate. The angle is wrong, but the impact is enough. The boat's pilot jerks the wheel, defensive maneuver. His boat swings wide. The second boat doesn't slow, doesn't deviate. It closes to 400 meters. The machine gunner opens fire, not at the fishing boat, over it. Warning shots, tracers arcing through the sky. The message is clear: stop or the next burst won't miss. The fishing boat captain looks at David. What do we do? David doesn't answer. He's watching the horizon, looking for the helicopter, for the Israeli vessel, for anything that changes the equation. Nothing yet. Just open water and armed men who want Hassan back. The Hezbollah boat closes to 300 meters. The gunner adjusts his aim. Lower, toward the fishing boat's waterline. David raises his rifle again. This time, he's aiming at the gunner. It's a kill shot. Cross a line he can't uncross. Start killing Lebanese nationals in Lebanese waters, and this becomes an act of war. His finger touches the trigger, begins to squeeze. Before we continue to Section 3, here's another question for the comments. When intelligence operations put civilian lives at risk, who bears responsibility? The operatives following orders, the commanders who planned it, or the governments that authorized it? Drop your thoughts below. The radio crackles. Helicopter inbound, 30 seconds. David doesn't lower his rifle. 30 seconds is a lifetime in combat. The Hezbollah gunner could fire 20 bursts in that time. Sink the boat, kill everyone aboard. David keeps his sight picture, keeps pressure on the trigger. If that barrel moves toward them, he fires. The Apache appears from the east, low and fast. The sound hits first. Rotor wash, then the shape, gunship, missiles visible on the sedan, hard points. It doesn't slow, doesn't circle, it comes in direct, aggressive. Flies directly over the Hezbollah boats at 50 meters altitude. The message is unmistakable. We're here, we're armed, back off. The Hezbollah boats slow. Their commanders are radioing higher authority, asking for orders, trying to decide if Hassan is worth a confrontation with an Israeli gunship. The calculus is different now. Not fishing boat versus attack craft. Not even versus machine guns. This is missiles, air superiority. A fight they can't win. The lead boat turns, begins moving back toward shore. The second boat follows. They're not retreating. They're waiting, watching. If the helicopter leaves, if the fishing boat tries to return to shore, they'll be ready. The Apache circles. Protective pattern. The fishing boat continues toward international waters. Every meter further from shore is another meter of safety. Hassan watches from the deck, watches the Hezbollah boats shrinking in the distance, watches his last chance at rescue disappearing. What he can't know is that back in Beirut, his wife is calling his phone, getting voicemail, calling again. She knows something is wrong. Hassan always answers, always. When he doesn't, she calls his security contact, a number he gave her years ago, for emergencies only. She tells them he never arrived at his meeting. The contact's voice goes cold, professional. He tells her to stay home, lock the doors. He'll call her back. He doesn't tell her that Hassan is already gone, already in enemy hands, already lost. The Israeli vessel appears on the horizon. Gray hull, military precision. It closes rapidly. Within minutes, it's alongside the fishing boat. Sailors throw lines, secure them. A boarding ladder drops. David goes first, climbs fast. Then the other agents. Finally, Hassan. They don't untie him, don't remove the gag. They lift him like cargo, pass him up to waiting hands on the deck. The fishing boat captain gets his money, cash, bundled in waterproof bags. $150,000 as promised, triple the original fee. He doesn't count it, just takes it and turns his boat toward shore. He wants distance from this, from all of it. He'll never speak about what happened, never tell anyone. Some money comes with silence attached. The vessel's captain watches the fishing boat motor away, then orders full speed, northwest, toward Haifa. They're in international waters now, legally protected. But the Lebanese government will file protests, demand Hassan's return, claim kidnapping, claim violation of sovereignty. Israel will deny everything. Claim Hassan came voluntarily. Claim he's a willing intelligence asset. The lies are already prepared. Hassan is taken below deck, to a secured room. No windows, steel walls, a chair bolted to the floor. They cut the zip ties, remove the gag, offer him water. He doesn't drink, doesn't speak, just stares at the wall. His training is holding. Don't give them anything. Not your fear, not your anger, nothing. David sits across from him, speaks in Arabic. You know where you're going? Hassan says nothing. You know what happens next. Still nothing. David leans forward. Here's what you don't know. Your wife is safe. Your children are safe. We don't target families. That's not how we work. Right now they're worried, scared, but unharmed. That continues only if you cooperate. It's a lie. Mossad has no intention of harming Hassan's family, hasn't even considered it. But Hassan doesn't know that. The threat works because it's plausible, because he's seen what intelligence agencies do when they want leverage. Hassan's jaw tightens. First sign of emotion. David sees it. Presses. 3 daughters, right? The oldest is 14, smart girl, good grades, wants to study medicine. Hassan's hands curl into fists. David is describing his family, proving he knows them, knows where they live, what school they attend. The implication is clear. We can reach them, all whenever we want. Cooperate and they stay safe. We get what we need. Eventually you go home. Prisoner exchange happens all the time, or you resist, make this difficult, and things get complicated. The vessel cuts through Mediterranean swells. 4 hours to Haifa. 4 hours where Hassan sits in that room and thinks about his options. All of them are bad. Resistance means interrogation. Pain. Methods he's heard about but never experienced. Cooperation means betrayal. Giving up people he's worked with, networks he's built. Either way, he loses. What Hassan doesn't realize is that the interrogation has already begun. Not with questions, with isolation, with time to think, to imagine, to let fear build. By the time they reach Israel, he'll be exhausted, disoriented, more vulnerable than he is right now. The vessel docks in Haifa at sunset, not at the commercial port, at a military facility, restricted access, no cameras, no witnesses. A van is waiting, armored, dark windows. Hassan is walked from the ship in handcuffs. Sailors watch but don't react. This happens. Not often, but enough that they know the protocol. Don't ask questions, don't talk about it. Forget you saw anything. The van drives for 90 minutes, east, into the desert, to a facility that doesn't officially exist. No name, no sign, just concrete walls and chain link fence and guard towers. The kind of place where people disappear for months, sometimes years. Hassan is processed, photographed, fingerprinted, medical examination. They check for tracking devices, suicide pills, anything he might use to avoid interrogation. They find nothing. Strip search, cavity search, humiliating and thorough, standard procedure. Hassan endures it in silence. His cell is small, clean, a bed, a toilet, a sink, fluorescent light that never turns off, cameras in the corners. Someone is always watching, always. He sits on the bed, tries to think, to plan, but exhaustion is catching up. The sedative, the stress, the fear. His body is demanding rest. He sleeps. When he wakes, he has no idea how long he's been unconscious. Could be hours, could be days. The light is the same, the cell is the same. Disorientation is intentional. Time loses meaning. That makes everything harder, makes resistance harder. A guard brings food, hummus, pita, vegetables, simple. Hassan doesn't touch it. Hunger strike, another form of resistance. The guard shrugs, takes the tray away. They've seen this before. It never lasts. Eventually, hunger wins. 3 days pass, maybe 4. Hassan loses count. He's not being interrogated, not being questioned, just left alone with his thoughts, with silence. It's psychological warfare. Break him down before asking a single question. Make him desperate for human contact, for conversation, for anything that breaks the monotony. On what Hassan thinks is the 5th day, they come for him. 2 guards, they walk him down corridors, through security doors, to an interrogation room, plane, table, 3 chairs, a camera. A man is already seated, 50s, graying hair, speaks Arabic with a slight accent. Syrian, Hassan thinks. Or maybe Iraqi. The man doesn't introduce himself, doesn't threaten, just starts talking about Hassan's work, about specific shipments, dates, routes, details that only someone with deep access would know. The message is clear. We already know most of it. We just need you to fill in the gaps. Hassan says nothing. The interrogator slides a photograph across the table. It shows a shipment container, the one Israeli customs intercepted 3 years ago, the one that started everything. You arranged this shipment, we know that. We have documentation. We have testimony from the ship captain. We have everything except the name of your Iranian contact. Give us that, and we can start talking about what happens next. It's clever. Start with something they already know, something Hassan can't deny. Build from there, establish cooperation, then move to information they actually want. Hassan pushes the photo back. I want a lawyer. The interrogator smiles, not unkind, almost sympathetic. This isn't a trial, Hassan. This is intelligence gathering. No lawyers, no court, just you and me talking. But here's what I can offer. Cooperation gets you transferred to a regular prison. Prisoner exchange within 2 years. You go home to your family. Resistance means you stay here. This facility. This cell. For as long as it takes. Years, probably. Your daughters will be adults by the time you see them again. If you see them. The threat is implicit but clear. Time is leverage. Hassan's daughters are growing up. Every month he's gone is a month he'll never get back. Every birthday he misses, every school event, every milestone. The interrogator is weaponizing his love for his family. Hassan feels something crack inside. Not breaking, not yet, but weakening. The isolation, the exhaustion, the fear. It's all designed for this. To bring him to this exact moment where resistance seems futile and cooperation seems rational. What Hassan doesn't know is that Mossad has already achieved its primary objective. His network is compromised. The moment he was taken, Hezbollah started shutting down everything he touched, every route, every contact, every safe house, assuming correctly that he'll talk eventually. The network he spent 5 years building is being dismantled right now as a precaution. Whether he cooperates or not, the damage is done. But Mossad wants more, wants the Iranian connections, the financial networks, the future plans, information that can prevent the next network from forming. Hassan's cooperation would be valuable. His resistance just means they work harder to extract it. The interrogation continues for 6 hours. The interrogator rotates through approaches: friendly, threatening, logical, emotional, testing Hassan's defenses, looking for cracks. Hassan gives nothing, says nothing beyond demands for a lawyer that he knows won't be granted. Finally, the guards take him back to his cell. He collapses on the bed, emotionally drained, physically exhausted. The fluorescent light burns overhead. Sleep doesn't come easily. This pattern continues for 3 weeks. Isolation interrupted by interrogation. questions interrupted by silence, push and pull, pressure and release. It's a rhythm designed to break human psychology, and it works. Not immediately, not dramatically, but gradually, resistance becomes harder. The reasons for staying silent become less clear. The arguments for cooperation become more persuasive. Hassan begins to talk, not about everything, not immediately, but small things, confirmations of information they already have, corrections to details they got wrong, nothing that feels like betrayal, nothing that compromises anyone still operational, but it's cooperation. It's the crack in the dam. Over the following months, that crack widens. Hassan provides names, routes, methods. He draws maps, explains communication protocols, gives up his Iranian contact, a Revolutionary Guard officer named Javad, describes financial networks, details future shipments that were being planned. What he tells himself is that he's protecting his family. That cooperation means seeing his daughters again. That resistance is pointless when Hezbollah has already abandoned the network. But the truth is simpler. He's been broken, not through torture, through psychology, through calculated pressure applied with precision. Israeli intelligence takes everything Hassan provides and runs it through analysis, cross-references it with existing intelligence, validates it. Most of it checks out. Some leads to arrests. Some leads to disrupted operations. Some leads nowhere because Hezbollah moved faster. But overall, the intelligence is solid, valuable, worth the risk of the operation. 2 years after his capture, Hassan is part of a prisoner exchange. Israel trades him and 14 other prisoners for 2 Israeli soldiers held by Hezbollah. The swap happens at the border, under international supervision. Hassan walks across, free, home. His family is waiting, his wife, his daughters. They're older now, changed. He barely recognizes the youngest. She was 11 when he was taken. Now she's 13, taller, different. 2 years gone, 2 years he'll never recover. Hezbollah welcomes him back publicly, calls him a hero, a fighter who resisted Israeli interrogation. They give him a stipend, find him civilian work, but privately they know. He talked. Everyone talks eventually. He's never trusted with operational information again, never brought into planning. He becomes what intelligence agencies call burned, useful for propaganda, but never for operations. Hassan lives quietly now, works a normal job, sees his family, tries to rebuild what was taken from him. But he knows the truth, knows he gave them what they wanted, knows that people were arrested because of information he provided, knows that operations failed because of routes he revealed. The guilt follows him, every day, every night, a weight that never lifts. Back in Tel Aviv, the operation is analyzed, lessons learned, risks assessed. The consensus is clear, high risk, but high reward. 1 man extracted from hostile territory, months of valuable intelligence gathered, a network dismantled, enemy capabilities degraded, the mathematics of espionage, lives measured against strategic value, morality subordinated to necessity. The operation remains classified. Details are known only to those directly involved and senior leadership who authorized it. The public never learns about the fake Uber driver, the chase through Lebanese checkpoints, the confrontation at sea. It's buried in files that won't be declassified for decades. But the impact reverberates. Hezbollah changes protocols, improves security, makes it harder for the next operation. Israel refines tactics, learns from what worked and what didn't, prepares for the next extraction. The intelligence war continues, invisible, constant, unforgiving. The operation proves something important, that borders don't protect you, that security can be penetrated, that anyone, anywhere, can be reached if the resources and will exist. Hassan al-Qantar learned this the hard way, sitting in that sedan on a Tuesday morning, believing he was safe, believing his routine was random, believing he controlled his own life. He was wrong. The machinery of intelligence gathering doesn't sleep, doesn't forgive, doesn't forget. It watches, waits, finds the pattern, exploits the vulnerability, and when the moment comes, it acts, decisively, completely, without hesitation. That's the lesson, not just for Hassan, for anyone operating in the shadows, for anyone who thinks they're invisible, for anyone who believes security is absolute. The operation in Beirut proved otherwise. Proved that, with enough planning, enough resources, enough will, the impossible becomes possible. If this exposed the machinery that most people never see, the operations that happen in plain sight while the world looks away, subscribe for the next one. There are dozens more, stories of deception and extraction, of risks taken and prices paid, of the invisible war fought every day in cities across the world. Here's a final question for the comments. The intelligence gathered from Hassan reportedly prevented future attacks and saved lives, but it came through kidnapping, detention without trial, and psychological pressure. Where's the line between security and overreach? When does the end stop justifying the means? Let me know your thoughts. The answer isn't simple. It never is.